So, what got you into cars, and what did you drive in here today?
So my name's Mike. I drive a fully built single turbo 09 370Z, which is also known as Zedzilla. So my passion for cars started at a very young age. I remember hearing stories of my mom with her boyfriend at the time traveling all over the United States. They were going to pick up 1970 442 Oldsmobiles. There's a red one, a blue one, and a green one. They're somewhere in a barn, probably still to this day. I remember telling my mom growing up that I'm gonna find one of those. I'm gonna restore it, and I'm gonna give it to her. So being your typical 90s kid, I always had Hot Wheel cars. With the Hot Wheel cars came the Hot Wheel tracks, running them up and down walls, down the stairs, jumping it over pillows. I was always the tinkerer. I always wanted to find something, pull it apart, and put it back together. Of course, I always made it better. There was always screws, bolts, whatever it was left over, but for some reason it always still worked. And cars was kind of that thing where I kind of just took off and advanced with. So fast forwarding to about 2000s, I saw my first Fast and the Furious movie. And like any kid that went to that movie theater and leaving that, you just had that adrenaline going. You're sitting there like, I need a car like that in my life. I saved up all my money from my paper route that I was doing at the time, and I cut off the muffler on an '04 Saturn Ion that was supposed to be a community vehicle between myself and my brothers. I can tell you that my brothers and everyone didn't like it, but I loved it. It was one of those things where you're like, yes, I can finally be cool like all the other kids and all the actors you see in the movie. And I would truthfully say that was my first modification to a vehicle, and the sky was the limit at that point. I never looked back after that. My current vehicle is my '09 Nissan 370Z Sport. So I've owned the car for about 6 years now. Had to get, the exhaust, had to get cold air intakes, full bolt-ons essentially. I got a little out of hand and a little bit cocky. And I definitely crashed that car. And honestly, I never thought I would cry seeing something that happened like that. It was a pretty tough moment. I put all my money into a car to then crash it being stupid. But thankfully, I pulled together, ended up keeping it. Now we sit where it's at. At first, I wanted to go fast in a straight line. It was fun for about the first maybe 4 times until I was like, okay, well, this is the same thing over and over again. It's either you go really fast and you beat the other person, or you go really fast and then look like you're going slow. I want to get the car set up for big track events. I did the autocross here and there, but I want to do more of the stuff like grid life. I want to get into the time attack, the HPDE, stuff like that. Like, the autocross was fun, but with the car having more power, those little courses, it definitely doesn't get its full potential. I do have coilovers on the way that I did order from Fitment Industries. I got a set of KW variant 3s that will help me dial in and get the car set up for corner balancing, get everything so I don't, sit there and have the wheels shaking like crazy. As far as anything else for the car, knock on wood, hopefully nothing motor-wise. But I do understand that, being on it more, it's definitely one of those things that's in the back of my head that it could go at any time. I have a spare motor sitting there ready to build that I'm slowly inquiring parts for, that when unfortunately that time comes, it will see another stage in it. At that point, maybe it'll be Zedzilla 2.0. Who knows?
The name Zedzilla, you've brought that up a couple times. It's the name of your car. What is the meaning behind Zedzilla?
I'm happy that you asked that. So, Zedzilla, the meaning behind that is so everyone knows the term Godzilla in the car scene. Everyone knows that's a skyline. So I wanted to incorporate that somehow into my car, being a Z car. So everywhere else in the world calls a Z car a Zed. So I thought, why not put them both together? So I did Zedzilla. Zedzilla, King of the Monsters.